Dear students, we have seen many theories and models explaining the structure of atom and its stability. Today, let's discuss about the Bohr atom model and its main postulates. Rutherford's discovery of the nucleus meant the atomic model needed a rethink. He proposed a model where the electrons orbit the positively charged nucleus. Though Rutherford was on the right track, his model failed because he was unable to explain the stability of an atom. We know that when a charged particle like electron revolves around a positively charged nucleus, it needs to be accelerated in order to move in its circular orbit. But according to classical electromagnetic theory, whenever a charged particle like electron is revolving around a positively charged nucleus, there will be force of attraction, and according to the electromagnetic theory, such a moving charged particle will continuously emit radiation of energy. As a result, the electron will lose its kinetic energy continuously. This loss of energy would slow down the speed of the electron, and hence it reduces the radius of the electron orbit. So finally what happens is the electron would gradually fall into the nucleus and the atom will collapse. But actually this does not happen. Why the atom remains stable could not be explained by Rutherford. Here you can see the spiraling of an electron into the nucleus, and this is one of the main defect of the Rutherford's model. Several scientists were working on to rectify the drawback in the Rutherford's model, and Niels Bohr was one among them. He was a Danish physicist who set about trying to solve the problems with Rutherford's model. He realized that classical physics could not properly explain what was going on at the atomic level. Instead, he invoked quantum theory to try and explain the arrangement of electrons. In the Bohr model, Bohr assumed that the neutrons and protons occupy a dense central region called the nucleus, denoted by the red and green balls at the center, and the electrons orbit the nucleus in a planetary motion, like planets orbiting the sun. Although Rutherford's model was also similar to this, explaining the planetary motion of the electron around the nucleus, the main difference is that Bohr incorporated the quantum theory of radiation proposed by Max Planck into his model. And according to that, the energy of an orbit in which the electron is revolving is quantized. Quantized means it can have only certain values. Energy can have only certain specific values, and it is quantized. Now let's see what are the main postulates of Bohr's theory of the atom. Electrons revolves around the nucleus with a definite velocity in definite energy levels called orbits or shells without radiating energy. And these orbits or shells are also called stationary states. As long as an electron moves in any particular orbit, it does not emit or absorb energy. That is, it does not lose or gain energy. Or we can say that while moving in a particular orbit, the energy of the moving electron will always remain constant. And these orbits are also referred to as energy levels because the electron in each orbit is associated with a definite amount of energy, hence orbits are also referred to as energy levels. And the next postulate is only those orbits are permitted for an electron in which its angular momentum would be an integral multiple of h by 2 pi, or we can say that the angular momentum of an electron is quantized. The angular momentum is given as mvr, which is equal to nh by 2 pi, where m is the mass of the electron, v is the velocity, r is the radius of the orbit, n is the principal quantum number. So according to Bohr postulate, the angular momentum is a quantized value given by nh by 2 pi, where n can have values 1, 2, 3, 4, etc. Now the next postulate is, an electron in an orbit closer to the nucleus has a lower energy than one which is farther from the nucleus. In this image, we can see that the electron closest to the nucleus has the lowest energy, and as the distance from the nucleus increases, the energy of the electrons also increases. The electrons in the outermost orbit or outermost shell will have the highest energy. And the last point is, an electron may jump from a lower orbit to a higher one by absorbing a quantum of energy, or by absorbing an energy h nu, or it may jump from a higher orbit to lower orbit by emitting a quantum of energy, by emitting h nu energy. And the frequency of radiation absorbed or emitted is given by nu equals delta E by h, where delta E is the energy difference between the orbits. So each orbit or energy levels are designated as n is equal to 1, 2, 3, 4, etc., which are also called K, L, M, N shells. The first energy shell is designated as K, the second one is designated as L, the third and fourth are designated as M and N respectively. So these are the main postulates of Bohr's theory. Now let's see what are the merits of Bohr's theory. The most important merit of the Bohr theory was that he could explain the stability of atom. From his theory, Bohr was able to derive expressions to calculate the radii of the electron orbits in a hydrogen atom, and also to calculate the velocity and energy of the electrons. The experimental value of the radii and energies in hydrogen atom are in good agreement with that calculated on the basis of Bohr's theory, and this is the another merit. The Bohr's theory could explain the emission and absorption spectra of hydrogen-like atoms. Also, the experimental values of the spectral lines of the hydrogen spectrum are in close agreement with that calculated by the Bohr's theory. Although Bohr's theory could explain the stability of the atom and the spectra of hydrogen-like atoms, it also have certain drawbacks. We will see about it in the next class.